Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So today we're going to be talking about a project in the AI space, a couple catalysts, one that we've actually talked about months ago because again, as we've covered on this channel multiple times, I do think that AI is going to be a hot narrative. I mean, we are already seeing it right now with the run up of AI agents, different AI platforms in the AI sector. We're seeing a lot of these top altcoins in this narrative do crazy numbers. I mean, some of them are 2xing, 3xing. We've even had some that have, done 10x and above recently, and not a lot of time. So I want to highlight a project again that has made significant updates since we last covered it on the channel. And as always, guys, if you guys get value out of the video and the content we shoot here, if you guys could consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos, your support means a lot and it goes a long way. So again, when we look here at really the big thesis of this project and of this video, we can take a look at the AI sector. One, we're taking a look at AI again as a narrative. AI as a sector only sits at about just shy of a $70 billion market cap. Now I say just shy of, but you also have to take a look at something like again, like Solana, one altcoin, or even Dogecoin might be a better comparison. A meme coin, got up to well above 70 billion last cycle for one meme coin. And we're looking at a whole narrative and sector at 70 billion, which has potential room for growth. That is a growing sector, by the way. If we look at the alt chart, again, we see last cycle, AI was not a hot narrative at all. We did not have the real world catalyst that we've had recently with stuff like Tesla, Nvidia. Those catalysts were not really there. We saw last cycle, ecosystems and narratives like gaming, metaverse, DeFi, everything like that. Layer 1, Layer 2, Ethereum killers take off. And now I think this cycle, this bull market, potentially 2025, is going to, really shine a lot of light and liquidity flowing into the AI sector. Because again, when we take a look at the bear market, AI did not do that great. It did run in 2023, and then we saw it run again earlier this year in 24 with the news of Nvidia, I think, like breaking all-time highs. And then even over the summertime, it cooled off a little bit, but it still remained a very prominent, narrative in the space. And then now over the 30 days, we've seen it do double, which again is quite insane to just go ahead and double from about 35 billion to almost 70 billion. So I do think that AI is not done. I think that a lot of these projects you're seeing on screen right now, even though yes, a lot of them are up, 50% on the 7-day, I think there's still a lot of room left to grow. Now that's, one reason to be bullish on AI as a narrative, being early onto it. Now, the next part that kind of flows into this project that we're going to be covering is Avalanche. Now, Avalanche is a blockchain that we've talked about extensively on the channel, especially here recently. As we take a look, Avalanche is up about a 2x here just on the 1 month alone. They've gone ahead and done a huge upgrade and update to their ecosystem with the Avalanche 9000. We're not going to get into it in this video as we've covered it multiple times. You can find a dedicated video to what Avalanche 9000 update means for its ecosystem on the channel. Just look back a couple of videos. But just know it is a game changer. That's why we're seeing Avalanche respond the way it is as far as price action goes. And I don't think Avalanche is done at all, by the way. I do see Avalanche definitely, breaking its previous all-time highs as far as market cap goes. And we take a look at it. I mean, that was only a $30 billion market cap. And if we have to look at price, I mean, Avalanche got to $134. And I do think it's going to break not only its previous all-time market cap, but its previous all-time high price. I think Avalanche definitely still has a lot of legs to grow here. And that's only $10 more billion in market cap and about a 3x in price. And we're not really in the full-blown altcoin season right now. And with everything they have going on, yes, they're up high over the 1 month, but I do still think Avalanche is a huge catch-up trade. Now, going over AI as a narrative and Avalanche as an ecosystem brings us to Nuklai. Again, this is a project we covered months ago before they launched, and I believe when they launch, you can find the videos on the channel here. But when we take a look at Nuklai, why does it cover, again, those two things? Well, one, it falls in the AI sector. Two, it is on Avalanche. A lot of people, I believe, do not view Avalanche as an AI chain, which, full disclosure, neither do I. I do see Avalanche primarily as a top gaming chain, but again, I do think similar to stuff like meme coins or gaming or really any narrative, every chain kind of has its top performers, or at least if you're in those narratives, you're looking at hot chains that have projects falling into those categories. So when we look at AI as a hot narrative, if you think Avalanche is going to be a hot ecosystem, well, then it only makes sense to look for AI projects that are building on Avalanche. If you think Avalanche is going to continue to grow in the future and have more liquidity flow into its ecosystem, and you think AI is going to do well, we'll combine those two and you have Nuklai. So if we look at it, what is Nuklai? They've done a lot of updates since we last covered them, but they do still focus on the data side of things of AI. So we see a lot of AI projects / like deep end projects focusing on GPU or focusing on AI agents. They are primarily sticking again to the data side of it, and they actually are they claim to be a layer 1 blockchain infrastructure to host a bunch of different ecosystems underneath them. Again, they have a bunch of partnerships here. If you want a full in-depth video on Nuklai, you can find it on the channel. I don't want to make it too long here. Just giving you guys my thesis. But they are a layer 1. You can take a look at their ecosystem here, everything that they have going on within the Nuklai network. So they do, have a little bit of, distribute compute power, security, and transparency, different things that they focus on, LLM integrations, just to name a couple. And, overall, the website does look pretty clean. If you want to, again, learn more about Nuklai, you can either find the review video, or I encourage you, as always, go onto the website for Nuklai. You can find it by going on, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, their Twitter, and just hit website, go onto it. They have their white paper, the Git book. You can find out more about what they do. But again, the short and skinny is that they are a AI infrastructure play built on Avalanche, and they are a layer 1 blockchain as well, they say. So a couple things that they have done. Also, it's just always worth mentioning on any really project, I believe it is pretty important if they have one. They do have a docs team, which, if you recall on my original video, was a big reason that I really liked Nuklai, and I still do, is that they have a docs team. If you, again, recall that video, Nuklai, a couple things that I was extremely bullish on is that they were on Avalanche. We already know that there is not a lot of AI projects on Avalanche. I almost am willing to bet to believe that a lot of people don't even think there is AI projects on Avalanche. But Nuklai, in my opinion, is one of the top AI projects building on Avalanche, and they do have a docs team, which, a lot of AI projects, not that it is necessary, but it is always nice to see a docs team as well. Now, if we take a look at the recent updates they've had, Nuklai, they did go ahead and announce a partnership and membership in the Fetch.ai Foundation, joining the enterprise leaders like Peak and Bosch Global. Now, if you're not familiar with what Fetch.ai is, Fetch.ai did go ahead and kind of merge, I believe earlier this year, with Fetch.ai, SingularityNet, and Ocean Protocol. They merged together to create this like ASI token, this super intelligence alliance, which, if we take a look at the token across those three, they sit at a $5 billion market cap. So why is this partnership important? Well, again, you're looking at, kind of a group of projects evaluated at a $5 billion circulating market cap, evaluation, merging with something like Nuklai that I do believe the market cap is a little higher than it shows here on CoinGecko. I think it sits a little bit closer to like 35 million circulating right now. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But if we take a look at it, again, they're doing this partnership to kind of evaluate the utility of both AI agents and data for real world applications. Again, as said earlier, we know that AI agents is going to be a hot narrative. Again, we're already seeing it with a bunch of projects blowing up here recently. If you want to know a little bit more about this partnership with Nuklai and Fetch.ai, you can go in here and, again, you can either read it or just pause the video. I'm not going to read this whole thing off to you guys. Again, I don't want to make this video too long, and you can always go in here and read it, but it is a pretty good partnership, and it's one that I think, again, is pretty bullish on both projects, honestly, even though this is so much higher more in evaluation. I do think it benefits both of them, but especially for Nuklai being such a smaller market cap. I mean, even the FDV, fully diluted valuation, is still only $112 million. Now, I say only because you do look at projects that's partnering with at a $5 billion. That obviously is a huge gap between the two. Now, along with that partnership, they did go ahead and, make some changes to their vesting schedule. If you want to find the updated vesting schedule, you just click this link here. You find it on their blog as well on their website, but it'll open up like a spreadsheet. And I do believe that they've not necessarily, I don't think, made a full-on pause for the whole vesting schedule. They actually do break it down here as well, but they are severely reducing the amount of tokens that's going to be coming into the market monthly. Again, you can take a look. The ecosystem unlock will be paused until this month, and then it will resume normally, concluding in February 2026. So that's going to start resuming as well, because when this project did launch, the dilution was terrible. I mean, is a terrible looking chart, honestly. That was one thing that, we said early on, that the dilution was essentially going to kill this project if they didn't do anything about it. But again, they have gone ahead and listened to people. They have gone ahead and made some of the changes as well. So like team allocation, instead of coming out immediately or even on a short cliff, now the first unlock is going to be, May 2025 and then moving onwards. So they have postponed a lot of, the harsher or bigger token unlocks until next year as well. So that is something worth mentioning. I think they made this update over the summertime, so it's supposed to be like a 12-month kind of pause or effect. So that is something that is, again, a huge plus for the project, that from when we last covered it, they did go ahead and not necessarily solve all the dilution, but they have definitely done something to curb that harsh dilution that's in effect right now. So that is worth making note of. Now, if you're trying to take a look at why, the utility of the NAI, the Nuklai token, how it's going to be powering the ecosystem. Well, Nuklai, they have their launchpad where you can stake the NAI token to unlock access to dozens of new projects in typical launchpad fashion. They are the layer one, obviously, that's what they're building, a next-gen blockchain built for data, AI, speed, and more, which I imagine the NAI token will be the gas token powering that ecosystem at layer one as well. The Nuklai fusion as well. So again, a couple utilities for here. They are building a pretty vast ecosystem, but either way, I just wanted to kind of highlight and revisit Nuklai because they have made these bullish partnerships, and this partnership with Fetch.ai is not the only one. If you go on their Twitter here, again, I'm just going to scroll through it pretty quickly here, but they make partnerships quite often, like Sage Studios, Lake AI, another kind of smaller project as well. Rivals AI. I mean, the partnerships are constant. They're constantly making new partnerships, which is what you want to see in a project. They're constantly putting out updates, like partnerships or like the new vesting schedule. If you go to their blog as well, if you scroll to the top, it'll show you more and more of what they've been up to in their ecosystem. So constant, updates from this team. And again, this is a project that I think is being pretty slept on. We're seeing it respond quite well to the market heating up here recently, especially with AI, and I do believe some of this attention has been grasping towards it because Avalanche also has been picking up as an ecosystem. So I think it is getting some of the liquidity on the back end as well. So either way, I like Nuklai. I said that in my first video, months ago, earlier this year, but like we covered then, I thought the vesting schedule, as if we look at the alt chart, kind of goes to support that thesis that the vesting was absolutely terrible, that it was a huge hindrance, killing the project. But a lot of the dilution unlocks did happen over the summer, and then they did go ahead and rework their vesting as well. That if you want to get in and find out more about it, you can go in here in their blog and find out. And I think when you're looking at AI projects building on Avalanche, there's really not too many of them. Comment them below if you think that, there's other AI projects building on Avalanche that I should be aware of or that we haven't talked about that you want me to look a little bit more into. I will certainly do so if you comment them as well. And let me know your thoughts on Nuklai. Were you an early investor into this project? Is it one that you're just now hearing about, or one that's been on your watch list but you've been waiting for them to come out with different updates? Were you aware of any of these updates? I think a lot of people maybe wrote off Nuklai because of the vesting, because of the dilution. And, it is worth mentioning that when this thing was launching, one of the top influencers, obviously Alex Becker, was a huge fan of Nuklai. He was definitely hinting at it. And I do think that it is still on his radar. I think he's also falls in that bucket of, maybe putting it on the back burner. Now, I don't know, obviously, what he's doing, what he's going to talk about in the future, but if he does revisit this project and does talk about it, if he still has his stance on Nuklai, if he mentions it in a future video, that could be huge for the price action. Obviously, we know the kind of effect that his videos have. Now, as always, I would never, bank on an influencer talking about a project as far as price action goes, but you also cannot deny the effect that something like that has on the price. But either way, guys, that's Nuklai. If you're bullish on the AI ecosystem, keep, growing throughout the cycle. If you're bullish on Avalanche as a chain and liquidity flowing into its chain, then I think Nuklai is a great, combination there of AI and Avalanche as well. And as always, if you guys want to know what I'm getting into these markets or just an optional way of supporting the channel, there's a Patreon linked below, or there's a Discord you can get in there and talk or have access to me directly, via the private channels. And as always, thank you guys for watching. If you guys got value out of today's video, if you guys could please like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.